Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. As I was sitting meditating this morning, see what I'll do is I will turn on some news, and I will glance at it, but I won't have the sound up. The sound will be always down. My dad, he watches TV like that too. He looks at the news and cowboy movies. That's it. That's as far as it goes with him. And he watches them with the sound down. Because he loves to meditate. And so as I was sitting there meditating, still waters came in my head. And still waters, they run deep. And my love for you runs as deep as still waters. And that song was put on my head, and the lyrics match exactly how I feel about you. And I don't want you to ever think that no one cares for you. I don't want you to ever think that no one loves you, because someone does. The Four Tops were a very special group. This is like I'm being touched by the Four Tops, and I want to really do a series on the Motown Freedom Fighters, because they were in the movement also, because they were a direct result of racism. As they were riding those buses, going, touring, doing different things, they were attacked also by hatred, by evil. So Motown was a big part of the civil rights movement, a big part, because the music, was the crossover. The music was the one that, and they pushing out the love, trying to tell us really to love one another, in their message, and telling us how much they loved us, and so they were part of the civil rights movement. Smokey Robinson co-wrote that song, Still Waters Run Deep. And as I was meditating on it, it came to me that, and I didn't know this until I looked it up, that a lot of them were gone. And that this is the ancestors revealing this to me, that a lot of them were gone. I didn't know this. And when I came upon the first picture, I can't recall all the names. I don't recall a lot of details like that, like names and different things, but I know circumstance. So it came across that the first picture I looked up, that I didn't get a feeling from him. But the second picture I looked up, I believe Mr. Obi, birthday born March 2nd. His birthday is March 2nd. Mine is March the 1st. My son's is March 2nd. That's who I really got the connection with. And then come to find out I was correct, that most all of them are gone. We have one surviving member who, with the dearly departed ones, family members have continued on the love of the Four Tops. Because I'm going to tell you something. The Four Tops love one another so much that they stayed together no matter what. The only thing that departed the Four Tops was death. And we need to be like the Four Tops, except it's many of us. It's a whole lot of tops. So we're going to be a bunch of tops, and in tribute to the Four Tops, those freedom fighters, It was something to have your music, to write a song and be so excited about getting your music, your voice out there, only to turn on the radio and hear it being played by a Caucasian artist, to have your song being taken from you. And I'm not saying that Still Waters was taken by anybody, but it sure has been sung a whole lot of different times by different people, and there's a lot of nice versions of it. It really is. But what we need to do, and my goal with the Grow Program, is to give recognition to the African artists, the African people who have contributed to the United States, because many legends are not famous. And there are many famous legends who don't even get the contribution that they should get, It may get the contribution may go to someone else who redid it, but we need, I had to go back, really, I had to research and find who really originally wrote Still Waters Run Deep. Come to find out, Smokey Robinson co-wrote it, and the Four Tops sung it. And so I'm still looking. And that's what I kept coming up with, because there's so many versions of it. So I had to find out for sure, and um, and it's beautiful when it starts playing. It puts you in a place. It puts you somewhere, and you already start thinking. Even as a child, when my mother used to play it, it used to just send me somewhere. I just sit down and start thinking about something. Just start thinking. Boy, just the way the melody even starts out, it gets you to thinking. What you need to do is play it and begin to meditate on love. Because that's what the Four Tops were all about. Love. They were about love, honey. And that's what they sung about. And trying to get us, to come together in love. And that's what we're going to do, because love drives out hate. It does indeed. And as far as this, the Republican Party, it has changed. The Republican Party is not the party of the African people. No matter what anyone says, it is not. Because, in my opinion, it's not the party of Lincoln. It's not the party, even though people say different things about Lincoln, he was this, he was that. You know what, though? He stood up for us. He may have been all this and that, but in the end, he stood up for us. And he knew it was going to cost him his life. And those who stood up for us, it cost them their life. But Donald Trump did not stand up for us when it came time for him to tell the white supremacists in Charlottesville that no, this is over with. You are not supreme over anyone. He chose not to do that. But we had a president who did, and said he stood before the whole world. The whole world was watching this inauguration. And he stood up there, Joe Biden, and said, I want to end white supremacy as part of his inaugural speech. Even Barack Obama didn't say that. Joe Biden said, I want to end white supremacy. It is what it is. On this one, it is. It really is. Of course, Barack Obama had intentions of ending white supremacy and what he could do, but he was only one man, and he was pulled in a whole bunch of different ways. And I don't fault him for anything, but I got to give it to who said it. Joe Biden stood in his inaugural speech and said, I want to end white supremacy. And he has a woman of color beside him. So I believe that it can be done. I have all faith in this administration, but I truly have all faith in God, because God has told me that it's going to be all right. We don't even need to worry about anything anymore. Africans are going to rise. We are going to continue to grow. We are growing by leaps and boundaries. We really are. We are, and we're going to continue to love one another. We are going to let go of these old grudges and these, this unforgiveness that we are holding on to. This journey here, life is too short. We need to let go and begin to love one another, because we are stronger in our power and numbers through love. See, they are already trying to eliminate the African population through mass incarceration. That's how they making a dent. So that's why I'm on here trying to tell people to think about, what you getting ready to do. It ain't about, you need to listen to my episode, The Big Payback, because James Brown tell you, that ain't the way to go, honey. You need to think and do different, because see, they making a dent in the mass incarceration. They really are, because that federal system will have you locked up for the rest of your life. Then on top of that, they'll go ahead and throw some state time on you, and they'll run separate. They ain't going to run them together. Now, do you no favors? No, they going to run them separate. When you get done with your state, you're going to go do the federal, vice versa, however way they feeling that day. So I'm trying to head you off from going in there. I've been in there. You don't want no part of it, so I'm trying to help you. That's why I'm on here and wherever you at. You don't want no part or no crime. You want to turn the other way. If that's what they own, drinking and hanging out and throwing up gang signs, doing that, that's foolishness. That's a derivative of evil. And you don't want to be no part of that, because see, I'm trying to get through to them too. It's time to do better. It's time to, that is not your legacy. It's to be passed out, sitting in the car, passed out, drunk, and on World Star, doing different things, whopping and all that. That's not your legacy. Your legacy is not that you killed the end. That ain't your legacy. What kind of legacy is that? Because see, now you got to give an account to your brother in the spirit world. I'm here to tell you, I've been in touch with the spirit world. I know what I'm talking about, and I know that we have, even though the evil is still working around us, even though the evil is still here to try to drive us out and try to eliminate us and working with us to eliminate us. But it's over with, because I'm here to reach people. And that's why this podcast is reaching all over the world. That's why it's reaching all different places, places I can't even pronounce, but I can see where we're growing. Because it's time to rise from the oppression that we have brought upon ourselves and that has been brought upon us. It's time to rise. It's time to do better. It's time to grow. It's time to think better. Think about your legacy. Think about your future. Think about your today. What are you doing? What are you leaving? You a royalty. You are better than that. I want you to rise. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. You are not to be here. I already told you not to be here to be man's servant. You're here to be God's servant. Find that happiness within you. Happiness is within you first. And once you find that, it's a godly peace. Once you find that, anyone you bring around you will add to that. See, the problem with a lot of relationships is they start off like control. They want to, once you get married, oh, I got you now. Where you at? What you doing? All this, that, and the other. It's supposed to be about trust. You are two separate people, but you are a union. Under God. But we kind of got it twisted. A lot of people think it's about controlling and running somebody only because they want to keep up with you just to make sure you ain't really keeping up with what they doing. It's some foolishness going on in a lot of relationships, and a lot of people are not happy, and you need to find that happiness within you. What makes you happy? Because you are not here just to be going through. That's not what we are here for. We really are here we are born to be alive. We really are. We truly are. We are, he didn't just, it's for us, it's for God's people. Just like when the land over there in Africa, where life began, when God blessed the land, it was rich. They were doing great, trading diamonds and gold. They were doing wonderful over there. And it started getting out that diamonds and gold were over here. Where is this coming from? That's how they came upon and stumbled upon the Africans and began trading Africans. And we are everywhere. We have been deposited all over the world through the transatlantic slave trade. And now, yes, of course, traveling and moving about, but we are from all over. We from everywhere. I can have family anywhere and don't even know it. Really, it is the real truth, because our roots, our roots only go as to West Virginia. From the time that I get them mixed up, Virginia. Our ancestors stepped foot on this soil. It goes back to the ain't no ancestry for us. That's it. That's the ancestry. Sit down with some photo albums, some aunties and uncles and grandma, and write some stuff down. That's your ancestry. That's it. That's as far as it go. And start connecting from there. Cause them people can't tell you nothing. They was asking me stuff, asking me to fill in the blanks. So that's it, people. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. And we're going to do this all over the world. We're going to keep on rising and growing. We're going to come out with substance. It's some things getting ready to happen for us. We are about to be blessed. I'm telling you, the light of God is shining on us. I have been told that this is the end of the civil rights movement and we are the last passengers on the Underground Railroad, and I'm the conductor. And when we disembark, we gonna disembark at greatness and genuine equality. I love you. Let's rise.